This market update is brought to you by Bet365.
Thank you.
And let's check in with the market for race number 2, and it's headed by Star in the Mist here over the 1,462 metres, and the Mara and Eustace runner is at $2.30. Regal Valour is at $2.50. Sacra is at $7. Redoubt Road, who is the Browns galloper, who we just found out a little bit more and watched that jump out at $8, and She's Steeman is the first at double figures at $11 before we get to the 2 stablemates. But Star in the Mist heads the market for race 2. Of race number 2. We're going to start with the favourite here, Star in the Mist, and this was a recent placing at Cranbourne, Matty. We can see it in the all-white silks down on the inside.
There was a vast improvement on her debut, Ben, where she was fairly moderate, it would be fair to say, at Kyneton. She was just chasing the whole way, but she had a lovely run here at Kyneton, Cranbourne, stepping up to the 1,400 metres last time out. She had every chance. It wasn't the strongest maid in the world, but you could say the same about today's maiden. She's from a good stable. She's going to continue to improve with racing. So, as the market identified, she's clearly one of the key winning hopes.
One of the other winning hopes the market has identified is Regal Valour. This horse has been knocking on the door for a maiden win.
He has. He's had a little break. He jumped out quite well at Terang. I thought he wasn't asked to do a lot in that jump out ahead of his first up run. Matt Kamani isn't a trainer who sends his horses to multiple jump outs generally, so not concerned about that. She's a daughter of So You Think. Her 3 runs last campaign all had degrees of merit. She ran third in each of them and didn't have a lot of luck here at Stall at her most recent. You could make a case that she probably should have won that race. Drawn nicely, gate 4, I think she'll get a gun run. I think she's the horse to beat, and I had her marked favourite, so I've gone with her on top of Star in the Mist. Certainly not Robinson Crusoe here. The market's identified those 2, and they do look the 2 key winning chances. Sacra, I think, can be more forward than she was first up at Moe, where she got a long way back, but last campaign she'd been prominent in the run. Draws gate 1, I think can get a good run in the race, and She's Steeman next best. But 5 and 10, the 2 key winning chances.
This mounting yard is brought to you by Racing Plus. Sign up now at racing.com.
Let's jump into the mounting yard for race number 2, and we're going to start with number 4, who's the first of our runners in the yard, Redoubt Road, and good to get the insight there from Emily and David Brown as to how they're settling in down under here, Matty.
Yeah, and they've got a number of nice horses who have made the trek across the ditch, and Bifrost, he jumped out well at Cranbourne, and would you believe, I put him in the trial show Black Bookers, and I was distracted when he was running yesterday.
Don't tell me.
Anyway, that's a tale of woe from yesterday. But Redoubt Road, I think, is going to improve on whatever she does here on debut. She's from Turn Me Loose, who was such a terrific New Zealand galloper going back a few years ago. She's looked pretty one-paced in her jump outs, so nice kick-off point for her, the 14.62. Whatever she does today, I think once she gets out to a mile and maybe even a little bit further, we'll see the best of her. But very much an informed jockey in Harry Coffey on board.
Number 5 is Regal Valour, So You Think, is very much an informed stallion who this filly is by. First up from a spell today, take note the riding change. Damien Thornton jumps on to Fred Kersley, who's been removed for his rides this afternoon.
And as I said before, she's been good in all 3 career starts to date. She went around at Hamilton, Bendigo and Stall. She ran third in each. I thought her most recent run prior to a spell at Stall was the best of those. That was at 1,600 metres. The form around her through her first campaign's quite good. I like the way she jumped out at Terang leading into this. And gate 3, I think she'll just lob into a beautiful spot for Damien Thornton without doing any work at all. So I thought she deserved to be favourite, and looks like she may well jump favourite.
Number 6 is Regina Bay, who jumps up to the 1,400, second up from a spell.
Went around a big price, first up at Mildura, 100 to 1. Best work was on the line there at 1,200 metres, so I think the step up in trip today to 14.62 is certainly in this Order of Reward for Effort's favour, but she looks like she's going to get back again here today, and she's going to face a big task coming around the home bend.
Sacra's a mare who's been able to place in 4 of her 6 outings and probably just found the 1,200 a bit slick first up, Matty.
Yeah, I think she did. I think out to the 14.62 from a good barrier. I think it could be a bit of rinse or repeat for Nathan Punch here, who was able to take out the first race up on speed. She showed a bit more early toed last campaign for a previous stable than she did there at Moe, so I think that rise in trip is a positive, and I think the inside gate's key for her.
The prize stable have got a couple of runners here. The first of them we look at is Sedated Award, who is also backing up for the Warrnambool Carnival like its stablemate.
I don't think that was the worst run you've ever seen at Warrnambool there last time out. I know finished 8th to 12, but it was a tough day to make ground. She was home the 10th best last 400 metre split of the meeting, despite being quite well beaten. So there's a little bit of hidden merit to that. She's fitter now, third up. They've tried this mare in stronger races in town than what she contests today. So of the roughies, I think she's got some hope.
Looks like she's going to be carrying the all-white club colours too to distinguish her from the stablemate. Let's jump ahead to number 9, which is She's Steeman. Paddy Maloney stays in the saddle for Sabasam.
She's got back in both runs this campaign, and she's hit the line like the 14.62 today is really going to suit her. Last time out at morning, she was a little bit slow out, so Patrick Maloney's going to need to be on top of that early doors. But she hit the line quite well there over the 1200, so up in trip today, a big positive.
Star in the Mist is certainly going to have her fans, the Mara and Eustace team combined with Johnny Allen.
Yeah, certainly will, and the stable, their runners are always very well respected in betting. That's the case again today. Johnny Allen's teamed up so well with Kieran Mara and David Eustace over a long period of time. She really improved last time out there at Cranbourne. Yes, she had the gun run, but she wasn't beaten far. This isn't a materially stronger maiden today. She's drawn well, so lots to like about her.
The one we missed on the run through was number 2, Miss Colorado, who's the second of the prior runners. I noted that, yeah, they're both on the quick backup from last week at the Bull.
They certainly are. I think this is probably the second seed of the stable's runners, but she got a long way back there at Warrnambool. It was tough to make ground, as I referenced, particularly early in the carnival. She's got a good draw, a little claim, but as the market would suggest, I think she's one of the outside hopes.
So there's a look at the field of 8 who are making their way towards the start, the fillies and mares, and Matty, was Regal Valour first up for you.
Yeah, I think she's going to be awfully hard to beat here. She's jumped out nicely. She gets a good run. She's been backed into favour, and I think that's where she deserves to be. Pretty obvious, the danger star in the Mist, Kieran Mara and David Eustace. Johnny Allen in the saddle. She improved at Cranbourne last start. She'll take natural improvement again today. Sacra and She's Steeman next best, but I think 5 and 10 are the principal hopes.
This market update is brought to you by Bet365.
Regal Valour, Matt's top tip, heads that market at $2.50 as the fillies and mares make their way towards the 1,462 metre start. Star in the Mist is on the second line of betting at $2.60. That is from an opening quote of $2.10 this morning. $6.50 and relatively rock solid for Sacra. Redoubt Road, who is one of the debutantes, is $11 into $7.50, so it is attracting some support from the Brown stable, and further out to She's Steeman at $15. But Regal Valour at the top of the market at $2.50.
And I'm joined by Regal Valour's trainer in Matt Kamani. Matt, how is the mare ahead of her first up run today?
She's really well, actually. Yeah, no, I'm very happy with her. She's taken really good improvement from her first prep and her spell. She was always going to take a little bit of time to mature, but I was delighted with her first prep and quite surprised in some cases, you know, for her to run into a placing over 1,200 metres and 14, I thought was impressive. And I probably still think the same thing about this first race. I think it's a bit short for her overall, but I'm hopeful that her class will see her through it. She's not 100% fit because we just want to build her up into that 2,400 metre distance, and I don't want her peaking in her first run. I'm hoping that we can get to somewhere this preparation, you know, third and fourth up, and so, you know, it's going to be a really interesting race for her. Hopefully, if she can sit just off the pace somewhere like that and finish off strongly, it'll give a good sighter for where she's heading.
She's drawn quite well. It looks no disadvantage to be up on speed. It was rarely a disadvantage to be up nearer the speed here at Kilmore. Would you like to see her positioned in sort of that 3 or 4 in the run?
I think so, but I've said to Damien not to be too aggressive in trying to get into a good spot. If she breaks slowly, then we'll just have to leave her where she lands, because she is only 85% fit. I don't want to be using her up in the early part of the race. I'd rather just sit there. If she ends up in a poor position and they go a bit slow, I've said to him he can get going a little bit early. I don't mind that at all, and if that means that he has to peg back a leader but still runs on well and finishes strongly, then that's all we're looking for really for our first up run.
You mentioned she's only 85% fit. Do you think that's fit enough to be winning winning a maiden first up at 14.62?
Well, it depends how good she is, I think. If she's a city class horse, and I certainly hope she can be, then I think she can win a race like this on 85% fitness. But she's also got the fact that it's a bit short for her to contend with as well. So we might see her not only a little bit short of fitness, but also a little bit short of speed. You've
got Rivenado in the next. How's he prepped up ahead of this campaign?
Good. He's sort of had a little break rather than a spell, a little freshen up, if you like. I can't say that he's come back in particularly any different form, but his races, if you go back through his career, have been consistent enough. I think he's a maiden winner to come, but it's just a question of whether it's today, next start, or in 10 starts' time.
He looks like he's going to get a nice run from the gate today.
I think so, yes, and I think he'll probably need that because I think he's more of a 2,000-metre horse. But if he can be up near the pace, I think that'll give him a bit of an advantage.
Both of these look to have reasonable chances in their respective maidens. Which is the best of the two?
I would say Regal Valour. I think she's got more upside. We've seen less of her. She's promised a lot in the past, and I'm hopeful that even if today's not the day, she'll run well.
So you think they're absolutely flying at the moment?
They certainly are, and every time I have bought one and look back and see the results he's having, I'm delighted with having got this one.
All right, best of luck, Matt.
Thanks a lot, Matt.
Good to get the insight there from Matt Kamani, and the punters are certainly with him. Regal Valour is the backed favourite as Star in the Mist continues to drift to $3 on the VOP as we hand it up to Adam O for his call of race number 2.
Sacra, whose last campaign saw it run mainly on heavy tracks and run well. It was only fair in a shorter race first up. It could easily improve getting out in distance, provided it can handle a slightly firmer track than we've seen it perform well on previously. So they're moving in. Redoubt Road makes its race debut, 8 into 7. I thought its jump outs were only fair. Turn Me Loose filly out of a Zabeel mare, so you'd think she'll be getting out over a bit further. Miss Colorado's coming up. Lights on, and She's Steeman will complete them for the 14.62 metre race number 2. We're set to go. Light flashing, and they're away now. Star in the Mist, with not a great deal of speed, was second last away and might settle a position closer than that. Fast out was She's Steeman and is working across Miss Colorado to lead now 2 lengths. And then comes Sedated Award in third, who goes past Miss Colorado, who's drifting back to third in the run. Regal Valour pops up in fourth, a length away to Sacra, a length and a half to Star in the Mist, who follows the other favourite. Getting back, Redoubt Road second last, and a length away last, Regina Bay. Down the back, 1,000 left to travel. She's Steeman is set up a 2.5 length lead. It's Patrick Maloney and She's Steeman to the top corner, leading from Sedated Award in second, Miss Colorado third, and then comes Regal Valour in fourth poise. Sacra's back on the inside, midfield the running rail, and then Star in the Mist yet to make her move, and 2 lengths to Redoubt Road at the tail end, along with Regina Bay. Heading down the hill now with close to 600 left to go, when it's still She's Steeman, but only a narrow leader. In second, Sedated Award, a half length away, and Regal Valour travels into it nicely 3 wide. Now Star in the Mist still on her back, about to make a move, and Miss Colorado looking for a way clear, held up the fence. Sacra's behind those runners as they bunch. A compact field coming around the corner. She's Steeman turn first. Regal Valour and Star in the Mist after her. Miss Colorado locked in and couldn't get a run. It closed. 200 metres left to go. Regal Valour took the front. Star in the Mist giving chase about a half length away. Regal Valour still going strongly in the lead. Regal Valour's home, goes on to score 3/4. Star in the Mist hanging on for third. She's Steaming. Not a lot of luck for Miss Colorado fourth. They space the rest about 4 lengths. Sedated Award, Sacra, and then followed by Redoubt Road and a long last Regina Bay. Regal Valour, filly by So You Think, has made it a successful return. Looked a suitable kick-off for her, the 1400, after running well fresh at 1200 last campaign. Regal Valour, who was in a forward position compared to Star in the Mist, who was just a little slow out of the gates and by default was tactically disadvantaged compared to the winner. And despite making a move prior to the bend, Star in the Mist has been unable to reel in Regal Valour, who had the march on it throughout. About 3/4 on the line. It's a popular Quinella, and Exacta in the right order, with the favourite beating the second favourite. She Steeman, who led, stayed on well at $14. We saw the first winner lead throughout at a price, and this double-figure leader has stayed on well for third. And Miss Colorado, who knows where she would have finished had she got a run at any stage in the straight. She's finished fourth. 5:10.92, 134.48 and 3/4 by a long neck margins after the second race. So win for Matt Kumani from Ballarat, Fred Kersley winning rider, filly by So You Think breaking through at the start of his second campaign, and here is Matt Kumani trackside.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that, Adam. Good to be joined by Matt Kumani, and plenty happy connections as well, Matt. And you spoke to Matt Welsh before the race and said that there's still a bit of fitness to come, so a nice way to start the campaign.
Yeah, I thought it was excellent, actually. I was sort of hoping for that sort of result without being too confident that she'd do that. Both the distance I thought was a bit short for her, and she's not fully there yet, but I was hoping that her class would see her through, and it's great to get a winner for the connections. She's got a good owner of ours in Regal Bloodstock, but also my wife's in her and some family friends, Will and Penzo, so it's great to get a win for them, and I think she's a filly that can really go places.
It was a great economical ride by Damien Thornton, wasn't it?
It was beautiful, actually. For some substitute jockey in effect today, he's taken Fred Kersley's place, and I told him about the filly, and he got it absolutely bang on. He was keen not to sort of set her alight too hard early, because she was a little bit sluggish out the gate. He just coaxed her along until he got into a good position, and then he got going on her nice and early to make most of that stamina, and yeah, it was a perfect ride.
She's a filly that we saw get up to 1,600 metres last preparation. It sounds like you're on that sort of path again, a daughter by So You Think?
Definitely. I mean, I would be certainly going to a mile, I think, next start, and then we'll see how she goes at that distance before stepping up to 2,000. I was aiming for 2,000 third up, but we might see her run a couple of times over a mile.
Is she one that we might be able to see before she turns 4 in Melbourne and try and, something midweek in Metropolitan Company?
Yeah, I certainly hope so. That, I think, is where she's heading. That's what I'm targeting, and I'd love it if she can live up to that.
Well, Matt, a great training performance to get her a win first up. Well done.
Thanks a lot.
There we go. Good to be joined by Matt Kumani, the daughter of So You Think goes home best, $120,000 yearling, and she gets the maiden win out of the board first up. And Damien Thornton's going to come through and talk to us about how he did it. And Damien, a late pickup ride this morning, but it was a lovely ride there.
Yeah, she gave me a really good ride. She was a pleasure to deal with, and she jumped well enough, put herself in a good spot, switched off and travelled good. And I probably had to pull out a little bit earlier than I wanted, just the 2 leaders going nowhere. And I didn't sort of need to get pocketed at that point in the race, and I was able to come out and do no work, and she quick and good top the straight.
Matt mentioned that she's probably still got a little bit of fitness to come. Did she feel stronger on the line for you, or can you feel there's still a bit more to come? Was she starting to get any tired late, or?
No, she wasn't. She was still quite good at the line. To be fair, she had a pretty easy time sort of through the first 3 parts of the race, and only had to probably sprint over 400 metres. So, Matt had her forward enough for this, and she won well.
She feel like she got a little bit of midweek ability maybe there?
I think she can definitely step up. She feels like one that'll get up to probably 2,000, maybe further in time. But look, she did enough today, and there's more wins in store.
Terrific ride. Well done.
Thank you.
There's Damien Thornton, the winning rider aboard Regal Valour. And I tell you what, there's some very, very happy connections on course who cheered our home here today first up. So nice kick-off to the campaign for this daughter of So You Think. Matt Kumani made no secret of the fact she had improvement to come, and she's only going to get better as the distances get longer. So good win for her. She settled in 4th there in the yellow cap, green jacket. Damien Thornton got her into a lovely rhythm. She Steeman set alight from the wide draw, leading them up. Gave a really good kick up on speed. Seen the first couple of races, been no disadvantage to be close to the inside, but they're able to get away from the fence and win there. The 2 favourites came down the middle, She Steeman and also Star in the Mist, who's on her back in the light blue colours, and they ended up running 1-2 and dominating the race. So track looks in reasonable order. It seems reasonably fair so far, but everything Matt Kumani said there would have to suggest that this filly's in for a good campaign.
And given that he gave the indication pre-race that she was only 85% maybe there fitness-wise, wasn't it a great economical ride by Damien Thornton? He was able to get cover for the majority of the race and only presented her when he felt the need.
Well, I don't think they went that hard. I know it's a slow track, but they're sort of 8 seconds outside the 1450-metre record. So Damien alluded to the fact they didn't go that hard. He got her into the race at the right time, nursed her down the hill, and she was too good. given she was first up, it was impressive the way she fended off the challenge from Star in the Mist, who's third up now, you'd think nearing peak fitness. So, yeah, I think she's in for a nice campaign, and 1,450 metres is the bottom of her distance range, so could be a filly to follow out of today's meeting.
Most certainly. Regal Valour gets the job done first up from a spell. And Matty Welsh is on the board as well. We're after a break on Race Day Live. On the other side, Tim Yateman is going to join us with all of the latest racing news.